Viene Tampa, estamos activos. Un saludito a toda nuestra gente de la bahía del Tampa Bay, Central Florida, mi gente. Un abrazo, espero estén bien. Dios me los bendiga, vamos arriba, estamos on fire. Hoy venimos con un buen programa. Mañana tenemos un programa dedicado a Puerto Rico y a Fiona, el huracán que pasó por la isla y dejó un estrago. Tengo un mensajito ahí rápido para mi gente boricua. Nosotros aquí en Tampa estuvimos para María y hicimos un trabajo que hay que decirle usted y tenga a la gente de Tampa. Mañana venimos con un programa especial referente a Fiona, a la gente de Puerto Rico, lo que están pasando. Un gran abrazo, de verdad que mi isla la amo con todo mi corazón, mi familia está allá, mis primos, mis tíos, casi toda mi familia vive en Puerto Rico, así que yo sé lo que están pasando, he estado en comunicación con varios de ellos. La situación está difícil, gracias al gobierno, que prácticamente no el gobierno, sino Luma y los que están trabajando, que le han puesto luz a gran cantidad de personas. Así que se espera en 48 horas puedan lograr esto. Así que el podcast de hoy is a bilingual podcast because we have a special guest. My friend, House of Representative District 59, Mr. Andrew Learned.
How's it going, man? Thanks for having me.
All good, buddy. Hey,
thanks for making it bilingual for the gringo in the show, too.
Hey, let me tell you guys something. When I meet Andrew, we meet in the Rico Frappe Latino. And when, I've been in politics for 20 years. And I can recognize somebody like he's humble and he's a community personality, right? And when he get there in shorts and flip-flops, I say, I think he was Puerto Rican, I say, like this guy. And then I realize I'm in Florida. And this guy say, Wepa, how are you? My name is Andrew. And with the Wepa, I feel like we connect like a friendship. And then we ordered a couple of empanadas and drink.
There was a couple beers too.
A couple of beers too.
Maybe a bucket.
That means Andrew is a real leader of our community. District 59 always have an open door for the Latino community, including the Puerto Rican, Cuban, any person who go there, Andrew will help you. And that is something like I value because in 20 years in the politics, I know when people close the door in your face and sometimes even for your nationality. And in this district, it's a multicultural district. It's really important. Like you got a friendship with different communities and you are a voice for us. I respect that a lot. Thank you, Andrew, for being with Boricuas in Tampa podcast.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Happy to be here.
How's your day, man? Tell me.
It's wild. It's wild. I mean, it's weird because we are 2 months away from a pretty consequential and crazy election. I have probably one of the closest races in the state. Did last year, will again, always will in a suburban kind of swingy place like this. But I'm also a business owner and I'm in the process of buying a new location. So I'm expanding, I'm moving an existing one. My manager's on vacation. So it's like the real world problems too, right? It's not just politics. I'm trying to keep my business alive. My kids are in the other room trying to not burn the house down, making dinner right now. So,
Oh God, man.
I'm sure a lot of your listeners can understand like just the chaos that is my life right now.
No, that's the real life of your people, the resident of your district. Every Floridian right now is passing for that. I
Yeah.
work 1 hour from my house. Imagine in the traffic. Thanks God you are helping to build the roads.
I'm doing one thing. All right, we can end this podcast right now. If any listener knows one thing about me, it's I hate effing traffic, and I'm gonna fix these damn roads if my life depends on it. It is like the one thing. It is the one thing. I get so mad every day. Like I was driving yesterday and I was late to work, like which is only 10 minutes away. So I'm like you, I work from home most of my time because I don't have to be there. Like I'm not the actual tutor. I have tutors that help the kids. But I had to go fill in because somebody was late. And I was late getting there, and I can't make this up. Bell Shoals was flooded in the middle of the day. It wasn't raining. There was no rain, but there was like 6 inches of water on the road. Like,
More of Fiona in Puerto Rico.
Anyway, sorry. We can do a whole podcast. I mean, you don't understand. I spent hours 2 months ago standing on the side of Rodine in Balm Riverview, cycling traffic lights on and off because it was like the first time we ever turned it on. And I was like, I've been working at that traffic light trying to fix it for so long that literally when it happened, I found myself as the elected official, like out there, like calling out to the contractor, no, it's red. Like, and he's like testing wires to see which one goes to which spot. So
that's crazy, man.
You think we go sit in the Capitol and have a very lofty job? No, I stand outside of roads and yell at contractors. That's my job.
And the people don't understand the job of a House of Representative in a strong state like the state of Florida. You know, it's really important the job you guys do, because that job is going to affect us, the residents. And that's I don't make money to be in campaigns and meet with politicians. This is more a volunteer job because I got kids like you, and for me, my next generation, I want like they live like comfort like we live. You know, same thing. I want to pass that to them and then to the grandkids. And I know you are in the same boat. What is happening in the District 59? Like,
I was going to say, it's going to be interesting because to your point, like, I think a lot of us got comfortable with politics and a lot of us tuned it out because of the noise and the vitriol and just the nastiness. And frankly, everybody's just lying to everybody. Like everybody campaigns on something, never delivers, and then they always blame each other. And it's really easy to just tune it out, right? But the problem, like COVID, like one of the ways you and I connected was when, the government was trying to shut down local bars and restaurants at the peak of the pandemic, when businesses were just barely hanging on to survive. And I took votes against the majority of my own party, trying to, help, kind of like ease the ability for our small businesses to stay open. I mean, and right now, like, I don't think anybody can argue with the role of an effective government the way anyone in Puerto Rico can right now with Fiona, right?
Yeah.
Like we've spent God knows how much money trying to harden infrastructure, and the fact that they still got it wrong is now like devastating the island yet again. Like we're doing the same. Like there is a role. Like I understand the impulse to like, watch Fox News or MSNBC, throw my remote at the TV and be like, I can't believe like how mad I am about like something that's happening 2,000 miles away. But if it's impacting like your community, like your power grid, your traffic, your commute into Tampa every day, like that matters. And yes. I believe this election is going to be a referendum on those of us who actually showed up and put in that grind to like deliver for our community versus the people that are just talking heads on the news.
I believe for me it's really important. You are the first politician like I bring to the Boricuas in Tampa podcast. This is an idea of my production guy Marlon. Thank you, man. I got I've been radio station for the last 15 years of my life, TV shows and news talking about voting and pushing, trying to fix what sometimes is unfixable. And I believe in your candidate. When you start running, I see that you're a humble guy trying to fix things, day by day, family man, and I respect that. Like that vote you do, to against your own party. That I respect that because you put first your residents, your people, your small business owner. How many new Puerto Ricans or Latinos in the whole 301 has new business, small business. I got more of 10 friends with business now, even food trucks. And then if you close them, you're going to lose taxes because they pay taxes. They will fire employees, and it's a big deal. But thank you for make that decision in favor of the small business people because they need it,
Yeah.
And you got
and look, I remember what it was like to have a Wednesday where I wasn't going to make the Friday payroll. And I think every small business owner has been in a situation like that. Like we've all had that time where it was going to be close. And it's a challenge to make a business run in a competitive market the way we've got it here. And, it's hard to compete with like the Chipotles of the world. If you're a restaurateur, if you're a tutoring company like me and I'm competing with like Sylvan or Honey, like the big players in town. I spent the weekend coding a new phone routing system now that I have more than one location so that you get the right person. And like you would think like something simple like that. Like, no, it's so hard. And we have to build it. You have to build it with your hands. Like, and yeah, so I appreciate it. And thank you for recognizing because we certainly need more small business owners in Tallahassee with millionaires.
That's freaking right. I believe in people, workers of day by day, nursing people, not more lawyers in the house. We got too many lawyers making laws.
Oh,
but we don't have people, boys.
I feel triggered. Like my biggest fight is me against the lawyers. Like every single, and I'm on the Judiciary Committee. I am like surrounded by lawyers like every single day, and I'm like the one guy who's. They literally mock me because I think I start every floor speech with, "Y'all know I'm not a lawyer, so let me explain this in the real world. You're raising the prices on everyone. I mean, there's no such thing as like a free roof, right? Like there isn't. You're paying for your neighbors via the fact that all of us just had our insurance rates quadruple in 3 years. It's insane. Like it's not sustainable. We can't do this. We are pricing Floridians out of Florida right now. And it is a tracker. The problem is only getting worse. And it happens in rent, it happens in insurance markets, and it's all coming from the same spot.
This is something affect a lot our Latino community. The Latino community is a big percent of people like work 2 jobs for pay rent, to pay houses, mortgage insurance, house insurance, rent. My pastor, his rent go up like $500. Not even 100. The guy don't say 100 or 200. He go up in 1 month to $500. For $1,500 now $2,000 that you can pay for a mortgage. The houses prices are overpricing. You guys in the house are working with something against all these crazy numbers?
Oh, absolutely. And the problem, like, it's coming from so many different places too. And I think that is one of the hardest things, frankly, and I don't mean to talk bad about it. Like, as a voter, it's a really frustrating and hard thing because there is no silver bullet. There's nothing the state can do to just, like wave a wand and fix it overnight, right? The housing is going up because too many people want to move here and there's not enough houses. Anything we do to build more houses means that we're making the traffic worse than it already is, right? We already have a school shortage. We aren't building enough school. Like, there's a problem there. But also, like, it's going up just because the cost of wood is more expensive than it used to be. The cost of laborers is more expensive than it used to be. The cost of everything that goes into that house is more expensive than it used to be. And then on top of that, you've also got this litigation problem with these roof claims and everything. Lawyers get 95% of what they're getting in their settlements, by the way. Like, you, the homeowner, maybe you got a free roof out of it, but like, you still only got 5%. Your lawyer got rich. And that's a big problem. Like, we've got it's going to take fixes from multiple angles, and none of them are going to solve the problem, but all of them are going to together combine to start tilting the scale back in the favor of us normal people and away from these like corporate landlords, the people that are gobbling up just blocks at a time, turning all of Brandon into rental communities, and like really changing the town that I grew up in, and not for the better right now. But people always mock us Democrats, right? Like, we're just eternal optimists. Like, as bleak as it is, like, I do believe there is a path forward. There are those of us who are fighting. It is always darkest right before the dawn. And I do believe, like, we are going to come out of this in a world where, and you're already seeing it in the labor market, we're already starting to raise pay again, like in a way that hasn't happened in 30, 40 years. Like, workers are starting to be more empowered, and that can transcribe across and help rebuild our community, not from the bottom up, but from the middle out. And that's what I'm really trying to fight for, is our working middle class. Like, how do we strengthen them? Because if we have that, if we can empower those homeowners, then the people who have the big houses down the block, the people who are struggling to make rent, they will also, they will fall into, and we will all rise our votes together.
That's well, man, that's really right. And I hope we can do something. The thing is, you are running for 59, District 59, but now they changed it to District 69. I want to explain that to the Latino community. I would say in Spanish, el Distrito 59 se cambió a Distrito 69. That means cuando usted vaya a votar, usted tiene que votar en el Distrito 69, 69. No more 59.
And it's relatively simple, though. I used to represent Brandon and Riverview. I now represent the southern half of Brandon, Riverview, and then all of like Fishhawk and Lithia. So the northern boundary is now Highway 60. So where you and I met is like outside the district now by about 50 yards, which is like really unfortunate for me, because don't worry, we'll still go back. But it's basically everything south of the Brandon Mall, and then from Interstate 75 all the way over to the county line.
Yeah, that means part of Fishhawk was Mike Beltran, right?
Yep. Yeah, he moved. So he's moving down to Apollo Beach. He's running in a seat that's now Apollo Beach and Bradenton. District
50. What district is that one?
His used to be 57. I don't know his new number.
They changed it.
Yeah, all the numbers got scrambled. So if you look at it, like, I had somebody call me and ask me why I was moving to St. Pete, and that's because the 69 seat used to come from St. Pete. It's just like it's a once in every 10-year process. It's a pain in the ass. If you're Brandon, Riverview, or Lithia, I'm your guy. Keep it simple.
Well, that's something I want to bring. You are running against Danny Alvarez, right? He's a former lawyer. I think he's a lawyer. He was working in the sheriff department. And
I'm telling you, man, they're after me. They're always running. Go. I mean, you're from here. Like, drive anywhere in Brandon and notice where the signs are. They are in front of two things: gas stations and law offices. That's it. Like, those are the only places you'll ever see his signs, and you will see a Danny sign in front of every law office in this town. And that's because the lawyers are getting rich, and I'm trying to stop it.
My thing is, this is something really important for me. Everybody know, and Andrew know, I'm a conservative, and but the thing is, I got problem with my own people, because it's not when Adam was when he was running. I tried to meet with the candidate for that time. He never pressed attention to the Latino community. In the other case, last time was you against Michael Owens. Same thing. They even sent me a messenger disrespecting me because some woman of his campaign tried to help him and push him like, oh, well, meet with this guy. They think because we are Latinos, they need our vote for win. And the big problem with me is like when I'm trying to meet you to bring the problem of my community and you don't want to open the door, that means if you are not opening the door when you are a candidate, what made me think you will open the door when you are a House of Representatives?
Yeah.
Same thing. I don't have any, I know Danny Alvarez. I meet him a lot, like 4 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And I got a couple of meetings when he was in Latinos organizations. But after that, same thing, man. It's like they don't want to hear the bullshit by what they think out, like the Latino things bring from the community. They think we don't bring ideas. When where I work right now, the pharmaceutical I represent, 40% of my company are Latinos,
Yeah.
and hard work people, like represent this nation, and a couple of them with green cards, but they're hard workers. People who represent this nation, pay taxes, have kids and family, and that's something I cannot, and that's why I give the invitation to Andrew to this show. What makes you different of Danny Alvarez running for this district? What you can bring for the community?
I think the big ones are honestly like, because you're right. I mean, he has not shown up to any bipartisan forum that's happened over the entire campaign. There was an article this week about how the lawyers are backing him, and how he couldn't be reached for a comment. And let me tell you, like, you're running for public office. Like, if the Tampa Bay Times calls you multiple times, like, you call him back. And if you're a constituent, and when you and I first met, you were just, no offense, like a normal constituent. You just reached out to my Facebook page. You texted the number, which is on my website. You called me like a normal human. Again, my phone number is on my website. If you're listening to this, please don't call me right now because I'm in the middle of an interview. But like, I make it available because, like, honestly, like, that's our job, right? Like, your job is to represent people. Like, I wouldn't have fixed Baum and Rodin or this traffic sign on Dorman, or frankly, like when we ripped up Bloomingdale in 301, we had all sorts of headaches where cars were cutting through that Wawa station and causing accidents and stuff. People were getting hit, and like, that was just a matter of somebody texting me. We went out there, we got FDOT to put in new signs. It was done within 3 hours, right? Like, if you're accessible, like that's the role you're supposed to fill, right? And like, it's a call to service, which means you're supposed to call your people. And if you are unaccessible when you're campaigning, like, good luck reaching that person when they have to bounce back and forth between the Capitol and they think they're all high and mighty wearing a suit and talking to the governor every day, right? Like, you can't lose track of where you came from. And I think the biggest difference is honestly, like, I grew up here. My business is on the corner of Bloomingdale 301. My other one is over on Riverview and 75. Like, we like have to hold true, not to the talking heads on Fox and CNN and the nonsense that is like poured on us daily in the national media, but talking about issues that matter to our community, like respecting people's choice, respecting people with whatever they want to do. I was the one Democrat who voted on, I think, 6 or 7 Republican bills, because I don't think Democrats have a monopoly on good ideas. And frankly, you probably know this too. I'm a lifelong Republican. Like, I switched after one of my SEALs got killed in Yemen. I'm a military officer. And it was a personal thing where I came home and I was just fired up, and here I am. But it didn't change my values, right? My values of respecting small businesses, keeping the government out of our lives, and just doing everything we can to help just make sure that every single person has the same opportunities to succeed. It doesn't guarantee everybody the same success, but you're going to have the same shot. That's the American dream. That's what we promise. And that's what brought us all here. It's what brought my ancestors here. It's what brought you here. And if we can continue that, if we can get back to that, then we will all be fine, and we can end all this partisan nonsense.
And then, Andrew, I think you bring good ideas. I read a couple of your bills. I know a couple of that bills died.
Well, you mentioned food trucks. I had that one to make it so you could start small businesses out of your home kitchen. That was a huge bill. That would have saved any restaurateur, like, I mean, what's the cost of a food truck? $50,000, like, minimum these days? Like,
yes.
You could have started making it in your
from
kitchen
your house.
tonight.
And they don't pass that.
No.
I read the one about medical marijuana. I work in the pharma industry. I do formulation. I pass new products like to the phase 1, phase 2, phase 3 trials. Then make them commercial. And I know about all that thing. I work in Pfizer, pharmaceutical, Johnson Johnson, Ortho. You know, right now I work in another pharmaceutical. But Bristol Myers, Merck. I got a big background in the pharma industry, and I know the second effects of the medicines and the products we use to create that medicine. And I am a true believer of medical marijuana. Medical marijuana. I'm a conservative Republican, but I believe in medical marijuana because I know people who be safe and get better with cancer. I know about kids get better with cancer. Is we do it in a medical way, organized. I believe totally agree with that because I believe medical marijuana can save life. And I don't believe in conviction for marijuana. That is something like I'm not agree with that because how you arrest somebody for smoke? Why you don't arrest them for smoke cigarette? Or with half a beer, you can have a car accident, kill somebody drunk. But the thing with medical marijuana is different. And I believe in created in medicine liquids or for the sake of people with different health issues, not for recreational and hanging out. Because believe me, when I was in the high school, I do a couple of things, and the people who know me know.
Don't say it, you're on the air.
But the thing is, I believe in the medical marijuana. Your bill was about, right, this helping with people and situations.
Yeah, I ran the state's bipartisan marijuana package last year, which was a big bill. I had it with a Republican who had tried to kill the medical marijuana program a couple years before. I packaged it together and I said, look, and I saw that question pop up too. So I'll answer that while I say this. Like, personally, I'm a recreational guy. I just don't care. I hear what you're saying. It's not my fight, right? And I think in America you have to have a reason to regulate something, not to have a reason to unregulate it, right? So for me, the case hasn't been made for why it should be illegal. So smoke it if you got it, right? But I also recognize that's not where we are right now. I understand that. I'm not going to wave a magic wand. I'm one of 120 people in the legislature. So how can I get something done in a bipartisan, productive way? And so what we did was we packaged things like free cards for veterans, service-disabled veterans, people with PTSD. How can we get them their medicine for cheaper? How can we make everyone's medicine cheaper? So what we did was we went from a 1-year card to a 2-year, which if you got to pay $75 to renew your card plus a $250 doctor's appointment, that's a $325 savings per patient per year right off the bat, right? Like, just save patients money on their medicine, basic. And we said, all right, we're going to do these beneficial things to the medical marijuana program. But also, we have these harms, and that was Delta 8, like all these synthetic products that they're making in a way. Like right now, you can sell Delta 8, which is a product which can get you high, to a child in anywhere in the state of Florida. It is totally unregulated. Well, that's a chemical process. And like you just said, from the pharmaceutical industry, you understand like cutting agents and synthesis is where all of the problems come from. What makes marijuana usually healthy is the fact that it's just a pure natural product, right? So we said, all right, we're going to put an age limit on the Delta 8. We're going to cap it at 21. Anything under 21, you got to have a parent buy it for you. That seems like a reasonable thing for me. And at the same time, we're going to make it cheaper for our patients. And that was the foundation of the bill that we ran. And I'm proud to say I'm going to be running it again. We're going to keep running it until we get that one across the finish line, because it really did. We had a Republican and a Democrat in both the House and the Senate run that legislation, and that was just a deal I struck, frankly, I think on day one, trying to find a way we can move that forward and just get some progress on cleaning up that program It's generating something like $44 million a year right now with no benefits to the patients that are in it. And we can do better.
I'm agreeing with that part. I'm agreeing with that part, man. We got 30 seconds to just say why the people need to vote for you. Because production already put the music. Give me 1 minute, buddy.
That's quick, man. Well, we will follow. We will go back to the bar. We'll have another round of drinks, and I'll just say thank you. Really, it's been an honor to serve the last 2 years. Like, and I mean that genuinely. And I hope we've done good work. I hope people respect it. If you have any questions, like I said, my phone number is on my website. Call me, andrewlearned.com, and thank you for having me.
Thank you, Andrew. I really appreciate your concern about Puerto Rico too. You talked to me today, and I think Cassidy too talked to me about what you guys can do for Puerto Rico after the hurricane.
Yeah.
I really appreciate you take care of our people. Thank you for your time. God bless you. God bless your family.
I haven't forgotten. Paente, Puerto Rico.
And you owe me a couple of empanadas and beers.
Yeah. Thank you.
God bless you, bro. See you. Thank you, guys. Gracias, mi gente. Ese fue el representante del Distrito 59, Andrew Learned. Tremendo tipo, humilde. Así como usted lo ve, sentado hablando, así es donde quiera que usted lo ve. Una gente de pueblo, dispuesto a ayudar. Dale like a la página Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter. Comparte el video. Mañana venimos con el programazo. Vamos a estar 45 minutos, una hora, diferentes personas hablando de la situación de María. Vamos a hacer una crossover entre María y Fiona para que la gente pueda entender las consecuencias y la diferencia. Así que los esperamos mañana a las 7:30. Un abrazo, Tampa Bay. Nos vemos.